Jack, the Knicks got what? Pick 12?
We got pick 11, which we were actually, those were our odds. And normally when you're a Knicks fan, you go backwards. So 12 was probably going to be in the cards. But 11, like if it's a bummer, we could only get 11, 12, 11, 10, or 4. So once they showed us, I was kind of upset. But at least we didn't move backwards.
I saw you, what were you on, some like draft lottery thing, and you kept spinning it until you could get the Knicks in first?
Yeah, Tankathon is like your go-to site. It calculates the odds during the season, after the season, and you can sim it. And it took me like 100. The true odds were 50-1. I did this morning. It took 62 tries, and then tonight it took like 100 tries, and so we ended up. And I bet it like an idiot at 37-1.
You bet it at 37-1, and the true odds were 50-1.
Yeah, I mean, look, there's a little bit of a vig, but at the minimum, I should be getting 45-1, which I think one of the books did give. Regardless, it pays 0-1 when you end up with the 11th pick. So here we are.
So what's the consensus on this draft class? I mean, I know a couple of the guys at the top. Is this considered to be a relatively deep class?
It depends what type of depth you're looking for. Like, there's no clear number one, but the top 4 all have like superstar potential, I would say. So like Chet Holmgren is at Gonzaga, 7-footer, KD build. So like they're like, he could be the next Durant. Paolo Banchero, he's probably the most NBA ready guy. Played at Duke. I thought he was awesome this year. I think he's probably the best player today. And then you've got Jaden Ivey, who's like a John Morant comp. And then potentially the number 1 pick is Jabari Smith. He played at Auburn. They got bounced kind of early in the tourney, but he's like a long wing. So those top 4 are pretty solid. So depth-wise, not necessarily, but you know, if you land in the top 4, you can't be upset. Pistons, who had top 3 odds, who landed 5, that's where it's like, damn, that's tough.
Yeah, I mean, Chet Holmgren, he's the tall, lanky, goofy kid that everyone says has to put on a bunch of weight. Where do you stand on that debate? Because I see people using Giannis as like a comp of a guy who came in super skinny but put on a ton of weight. Or where do you think he falls on the success continuum?
I mean, I visualize him more as like a Durant type, not putting on weight. The difference is he's not a wing. He's a big. He blocks a lot of shots. Like, he's really athletic and tall, but down low, if you're banging against like Jokic would just body this kid. So I don't know. Ivy's my favorite player. Ironically, Benedict Mathurin at 11, which is where the Knicks are picking, is one of my favorite players in the draft. So there's no chance we end up with him. And then Abaji was on Kansas, who won the national championship. He's down at 13. So not the end of the world for the Knicks. The only real loser tonight, in my opinion, is the Pistons.
Wait.
Yeah. Yeah.
Is this just Nikola Jokic with a mustache trying to come back into the league here?
Yeah, he said after winning, multiple MVPs, his lifelong dream was to be a first-round draft pick. And after Taco Bell smeared his entire life, he re-entered the draft. But yeah,
okay, this is a much skinnier version.
Yeah, he's a handsome fella. He's got the jawline and everything.
What do you think about these kits here? This is an aggressive basketball kit right here.
Wait, hold on, Pete. Go back to that picture real quick.
Yeah.
Not only aggressive. Look at the sponsor. It's literally soccer.
Soccer team is sponsoring. And this is like just the global concept of soccer sponsored this? Like, what is going on here?
Yeah, I don't know.
Look at this, man. I can't believe I mean, I'm progressive. I like seeing, crazy basketball uniforms. I like that the short shorts trend has come back. I don't know how I feel about these uniforms.
Those literally, I mean, I played soccer all my life. Those look like soccer shorts. Like that's crazy.
This is what I kind of thought of a second when Jack was saying, oh, this is a good looking young man. And then Ghost of Greg Oden says it does look like a younger Jack. So you're pumping your own bags.
Yeah. I didn't see Greg Oden's comment before this, but I'll take it. I'll take it for sure.
And yeah, so we are down to our 4 teams here in the semis. I assume you were pretty shocked by the upset of the Suns the other night. No,
I have a ticket that no, Mark Cuban will not come on the stream. But if the Mavs win, I won't even need him to. I bet on the Mavs. I want to say, I'm trying to think it was after this. No, it was when they went up 3-2 on the Jazz and Luka was back. I bet them. Same time, Booker was out. Pelicans were 2-2 knotted with the Suns. They were 20-1 to win the title. Mavs end up getting through. Suns obviously end up getting through. So it dropped to like the worst they ever got. Well, they were at 25-1 post series. So I missed a little bit of juice there. And then down 3-2, they're at 50-1. But hey, they were down 2, at the Suns. So they scoped it out. They're now plus 600. My cash out, I've like close to doubled my money. Well, I've doubled it, close to triple. But I'm riding it. Like, I think Dallas is a truth. I actually don't think Golden State's that good. That's my call. I think that Boston's the best team left. That's my opinion on this.
I'm gonna have to deal with so many insufferable Celtics fans. I'm telling you, it was so crazy, Jack, because I went to a couple of these games, Celtics games, at the beginning of the year. This was right to when they had lost Robert Williams. Everyone was like calling for the coach's head. They were like, this team plays the most ugly brand of basketball. They have no identity.
It was ugly.
And like, what happened? Now I'm listening to people saying this guy could be like the coach of the year for the next 10 years. They're saying like Marcus Smart is just like launched into a different stratosphere. I was like, this was not the team I watched at the beginning of the season.
So while the Knicks did get the 11th pick tonight, if the Celtics go on to win a title, it will be this guy, RJ Barrett, who broke the Celtics. So if you remember, it was during the holidays. It was around Christmas. I think it was Christmas. Yeah. RJ Barrett at the Garden. The Knicks go on like a 15-point fourth quarter comeback. He banks in a 3 at the buzzer. And at that point, it was like the Celtics had blown 6 leads in 8 nights. Like, it was something insane. And since that moment, they've been the best team in the league, and they're playing like it right now. So RJ Barrett deserves a championship ring if the Celtics end up winning it all.
Wait, so just by so you're taking the 2 away teams in these series, Boston and Dallas?
I am. Miami's home court is questionable at this point, especially when it gets later in the week. Like, those guys show up 45 minutes late. Their lower bowl, like the walk, you know how at every arena right now, especially the older ones like TD Garden or MSG, like the walk path is very small because they want to fit as many seats. Miami's like, go look at a TV. Their walking path is like 3 times the size of anyone else. I don't even know how many people they fit in their stadium. So yeah, I don't think they have that much of a home court advantage.
If you're doing the, I feel like we talked about this on the show last year. We did like a prompt of like who has the most to gain as far as their legacy with the remaining playoff participants. Is it Luka?
So no, it's not Luka because he's got so much more to come, right? So it's like, obviously it would lift him instantly into that category. Like, he is reminiscent of what LeBron did with that crappy Cavs team back in 2007, took him to the finals, ended up getting swept. If LeBron wins that finals, like, it changes the whole conversation. So probably same with Luka. Steph Curry probably has an argument. Like, the team looks really good right now, but they're not that great. They're on the wrong side of 30. And then in the East, Tatum, becoming a superstar kind of fall. But I'll go Jimmy Butler. Like, really? I think Jimmy Butler, I think he's a great player. I don't think he's a superstar. But if he can lead a Heat team to a title, it kind of shifts like the entire, kind of narrative on Jimmy Butler. Remember his time with the Timberwolves, like shouting at everyone, calling them all losers essentially, and then leaving. So and then Philly, I know they didn't choose him over Tobias. It was actually versus Ben, but I think Butler actually is the most to gain.
What about Tatum, though? Because I feel like he's like that tweener right now where everyone's like always thought he could become a superstar, but then they just say like he doesn't have the it factor. He just quite hasn't done it. If he really took over here and led them, I feel like that one would be interesting.
Yeah, he's definitely like those 4 guys definitely get a big bump regardless. He's been to conference finals, so even to get to an NBA finals to make that leap. But as long as he's been the best player, like Smart's defensive player of the year, Horford's had his moments, Jaylen Brown has had his moments. Like, they're the best team left, in my opinion. So he would have to show out. He would be the finals MVP most likely. And it would, but I think people would recognize like it's the team of Boston. It's not like pull Jason Tatum and put him in Minnesota. They're like winning a title. As like, I don't know, Miami, that team is really good, but they need someone who's like going to take them to that next level.
All right. Least help to most help. Luka, Steph, Butler, Tatum.
So least help is Luka. That the Mavs team. That's why I was clamoring for Luka to like almost win MVP. That team is terrible. Now they've kind of positioned good 3-and-D players for the roster, so they work in the playoffs. But the team's not very good. So he's got the least help. I would say people are gonna disagree with this. I would say Steph second. Like Draymond doesn't even look at the basket. He's one of the best defensive players. That's fine. Clay has been spotty. Poole had a hot first series, but outside of that, he's been average. And the rest of the team, I'm just not high on the Warriors. I'll go. I think it's probably a tie. Like Tatum's better than Butler, in my opinion, but both are loaded rosters, 1 through 8. So that's how I would rank it.
Did you get another Tyler Hero special on Underdog tonight? Is that what
happened? I didn't request that. And so
I didn't request it. I have a cereal right here.
All right. Are you going to play the video or should I?
Yeah, I did need to just an excuse to play our new Underdog stinger.
Yeah.
Wait. Why is it? No, that's the background. Wrong one. God, I'm a mess right now.
Underdog. Cheers to Underdog. Cheers to you boys.
There we go.
That's
our new little Underdog stinger here. Go ahead. What were you going to say about the Tyler Hero?
So the irony is Underdog tweets it out this morning unexpectedly. Normally you let your head of winning. No, it's all good. Sometimes, it's best for surprises. And the reasoning for it was because like half the Heat roster is questionable for the game. Like Strus has a thigh and Oladipo and Gabe Vincent, all these players like questionable. So Tyler Hero gets pulled off the injury report. And so that's the reason why they picked him. Who do I pair it with? Pete, we did this like 3 episodes ago, which is 3 weeks. You saw my Christmas tree. It's been the same. Like I cannot for the life of me hit anything. On Sunday, I had Drew Holiday over 2.5 steals and blocks. First 4 minutes of the game, 2 steals. You'll never imagine how many steals and blocks he ends up with. Anyways, they picked the Hero one because he's off the injury report. Who do I pair it with? Not Marcus Smart, because I knew he had an injury. Al Horford. I paired it with Al Horford.
What did he do?
He's out for health and safety protocols. I put Al Horford in. I gave him COVID, essentially, by clicking that button. So, yeah, I didn't get to ride the special, but there'll be more throughout the playoffs.
Are the Snapchat heads that tail you on these, are they starting to get a little restless with the head of winning here?
Oh, yeah. And I've tried.
You having to do a PR campaign?
Stick with us. Everything.
Stick with us.
I've tried everything. I've tried taking their picks, but the problem with taking their picks, obviously, is it's still like me selecting their picks. You know what I mean? So there was one kid, this guy, Kevin McGibney. He's in PA, so he can't even place it. He would just send me his picks. First night, he smacked one. It was just a pick 2. I was going to the Rangers game. Hit it. Next night, he hits a pick 5. So we're like, Kevin's our guy. The next night, he's like, I like these 4 picks. And I'm like, well, we got to do the 5 Guys, Burgers, and Fries. I take one pick, and this is what happened. All the other 3 were like straight. Yeah, exactly. The other 3 are hard winners. My pick, I take Desmond Bane over 18.5. He scores 6 points. So it's dead in the water. Thank God to the Lords. We had Jordan Poole minus 3.5 points versus Dylan Brooks. That was his 4th pick. Poole is up 6 on Brooks. And Brooks makes a half-court shot on a meaningless shot at the buzzer. So I saved everyone from like absolute heartbreak by just having Bane be a straight loser. But this kid was like on a heater. Like all good things, it came to an end. Still trying to find a winner, though. So, fortunately, there's nothing to chase on tonight.
Have you gone the strategy of contra trading yourself? Like you think of what you want to do and then just be like, I'm going to send out the opposite of that.
So I haven't until recently because for a while I was like 1 for 2, which is the absolute worst, right? Like, and it was 1 for 2, but the loser was losing by a lot. So it was like you could only flip one. I've started tailing this guy on esports. There's like an esports guy. He does us. He's done. He hit me today, but he puts out like pick 5s, pick 2, whatever. He puts out projections. So I kind of like I took 5 separate slips, 1 hit, so it covered all my costs. In the other 4, I went like 4 for 5, 4 for 5, 3 for 4, 2 for 3. All different loser. Like,
you know what my advice is going to be, Jack, right?
Do a $500 slip on the hockey game tonight.
Well, that and maybe do some kind of like round robins of mixing and matching all your picks with 2 legs and give yourself a chance to actually win instead of clackety clack rolling the dice.
No, you're not wrong. So yeah, if you guys have like, I answer DMs, I look at DMs. Like perfect example tonight. I look at, I get a million picks because everyone knows how bad my picks are. So some guy hits me in the DMs out of nowhere. Last DM, April 11th. So over a month, he just writes Brandon Crawford over 1.5 total bases. So I like to push back. I say, why? He goes, it's going to happen. Trust me. I'll never suggest a pick if wrong. First of all, First of all, thank you. He said he hit a homer off cool last time in San Fran. It's Coors Field. He likes hitting there. But I could see a double at least in 3 to 5 at bats. I'm a little biased because I'm a Giants fan, but I have that all caps feeling. So I said, okay. I end up not taking it. I get in the shower. I do the draft stream, whatever. First at bat, guy hits a triple. First at bat, he hits a triple. Like, it's unbelievable. And I got a pick today. Dylan sees over 7 strikeouts. He throws 9. That was given to me. I try and find just one winner. I pair it with Jimmy Butler assists right now. So Jimmy Buckets has 1 assist through the first quarter. Like, it's just, it's just not going great. So, it is what it is.
I normally don't get too interesting of random DMs. I did get one earlier tonight. A guy slid into my DMs wanting to buy my Cryptode. He sent a photo. I haven't gotten a lot of those where people are like, especially in this bear market here. Says, hey there, I like one of your collection. Are you willing to sell it? And then posted a picture of my badass Crypto.
How much of a loss or gain would this be for?
Yeah, I think I bought it at 3 ETH, and I believe the floor is like 2.1 or something right now.
Oh, nice. Okay.
I mean,
that's pretty good for.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like, I'm not dumping it for a loss in the bear, but I mean, if this guy really wants this toad, we all have a price. I know. Let's see here. Yeah, Steve Poland knows the vibes are still impeccable with the toads. I mean, we're down so bad. I mean, I replied to your post, but we're down so bad that we were coming up with bullet points to talk with on the show, and Pete getting a fucking haircut was a headlining item.
There, scary hours. Where was Andy this week? I know Mike's fake working. Where was Andy though?
Yeah. Also, like you said, Mike. I mean, this is the most basketball we've talked on CTS in ages, and Mike's not here for it. Andy is at Permissionless crypto conference.
Okay.
And here's our bullet here. CSU Ram coming in fresh off the barber's chair. The alpha in the DMs was Pete had a haircut at 8:45 Eastern, and that he would be here soon. And it got me thinking, Jack. I was like, I don't know if I've ever gotten a haircut when it's dark outside. Like, I don't know if I've ever gotten a nighttime haircut.
The only person I've ever seen do that is last year. I went down to Fan Control Football in Atlanta. It was the championship game. We've got our owner suite for the Wild Aces. Quavo is in the suite next to us, which was pretty cool. First quarter happens, competitive game. Both teams have scored. Second quarter, I peek over because one of his co-owners, Destroying, who's an NFL creator, football creator, came in. I'm like, yo, what's going on? He's like, yeah, Quavo just kicked us out. I'm like, damn, like what happened? He's like, yeah, his barber just showed up. He was getting a haircut mid-second quarter of the football game at like 8:30 at night. I was like, who, why, how? But, I don't question those people. So it's Pete Jennings and Quavo, the only two people I know that have gotten haircuts this late.
I had to pull Pete on as quick as possible while he was patting his fresh new cut.
It looks good.
Who gets a haircut at night? This is unheard of.
6:45?
6:45. I mean, that's late, man. It's late.
Actually, the person I normally see is unfortunately on vacation. I'm going to Miami for a wedding, so it was much needed, but all good. How you guys doing?
We're doing good. We were just talking hoops, man. Just Jack and Pete chopping it up about the NBA playoffs like we always do around here.
I have a bunch of money on the Heat right now, which is a little frustrating, but
why?
I got Heat minus 2.5. It closed at 5.
That CLV that won't pay. Is there anything worse?
Just and also probably potentially burn some accounts because bet the news. And normally betting the news is killer for accounts, but in the playoffs maybe it's not as bad.
Yeah. Oh, for getting your account flagged as a sharp better?
Yeah, if you bet like we saw Smart and Horford were out, bet it right away. It's just like.
So I want to tell you a funny story because I want to get your PGA picks if you're allowed. I was sitting in bed during the Masters on Friday afternoon, and Scheffler just birdied to go like 4 or 5 up, whatever it was, on Friday. And I was on, one of the apps, and he was like plus 125, and I thought the app, like the line was off, so I put half my account on it. And then I found out it wasn't. So I was like, oh, I really like those odds. But I beat the news on who was out. Paul George was out for that Clippers-Pelicans game. And Pelicans, I took them at like plus money. I was going to just middle it or potentially hedge it. And I just wrote it. They were up 10, then down 20 in the second half and ended up winning. So, yeah, sometimes beating the news is good. Sometimes it puts you in a fickle spot. Like, would you have liked Boston if Smart and Horford were playing? You're on mute.
Yeah, I like Boston a lot in this series, just in general. So I was planning on betting Boston most games. This was going to potentially be the one stay away game, but yeah.
Yeah, you get 3 points almost.
Yeah, I mean, it's a tough spot. I mean, Boston's coming off to big game 7. Obviously, they won easily, but it's tough to come down to Miami, 48 hours later. And it's a huge spot for Miami. I just think that they're a much better team than the Heat. I also thought the under was a really good bet, and that does not look good at all right now.
Really? So, did they just start scoring?
It was 36-30. I mean, it's not like it's looking like really bad, but it's definitely above pace.
Yeah, it's right on pace. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Is this unabated tools? Is that what we're working off of here, Pete?
I can pull that up right now. Now we're talking.
I wanted to get the PGA picks.
Yeah, we'll definitely have stuff up tomorrow. I got a couple things potentially. How are you guys doing though? This has been a crazy stretch of time. I feel bad that I wasn't here last week. It would have been great to be here last week, but how are you guys hanging in?
Yeah, I feel like last week was we just had the flurry of news between the Azuki stuff, and then we had obviously the Terra depegging, and then this week has just felt like more like a true kind of bear, where things have just kind of like slowed down and not as much going on. But I definitely want to get your take and thoughts on the whole Terra fallout because I know that had been something you had been paying close attention to for a long time.
Yeah, I mean, I invested in that ecosystem before it launched. So that was a crazy run up and then a crazy run down. A lot of smart people in the space kind of warned against what would happen. And I didn't listen to that advice fully, I guess. So definitely the most expensive week in my life. But learned a lot through it. And yeah, I feel very blessed. I mean, from a zooming out perspective, which anytime you hear someone say zoom out, it's always like, oh, what just happened that's bad. Yeah. But I think broadly I did okay across the board personally, but I know a lot of people got hurt and yeah, I feel for people. It's a really, really big black eye in the crypto industry. A lot of people lost money, which is terrible. And yeah, that was a super, super big bummer. I had a lot of friends involved in the ecosystem, both who were involved early and did really well, and then others that got in later, and just sucks. I mean, the whole thing says, do you guys have a strong opinion from the outside? Because I certainly have more detailed thoughts too.
I mean, I don't have a strong opinion on like the specific mechanics. That stuff is way over my head. But just from like a PR standpoint, how do Kwon seem to kind of handle stuff, and just like the backlog of his tweets and stuff that surfaced that were so kind of cocky and dismissive of stuff, and it just did not seem like, if I was someone who lost a ton of money through that, like that is not the kind of messaging that I would want to be seeing. And so I thought that was handled pretty poorly.
Yeah, that's the easiest thing in hindsight, and that was actually something that gave me pause, and actually helped me to kind of rebalance and take a lot off the table throughout this year. Just the arrogance. I mean, I'm trying to think of like examples of like really arrogant people who've like sustained staying on top. And obviously, Do Kwon's a super smart guy. This didn't work out. There's a lot of things to be really impressed with the ecosystem, the UI UX of the technology, and growing anything to a $50 billion enterprise value market cap, whatever you want to deem it, which the Terra ecosystem had that much value in it is certainly impressive. At the same time, throughout the whole way, definitely there's a lot of cockiness and arrogant comments, and especially as things really started to take off. Yeah, there's a lot of arrogance. And outside of maybe athletics, where like, is Michael Jordan arrogant, do you guys think?
I mean, Elon is the one that comes to mind. Like, he's the one that's on top, and he seems to be the most arrogant person, depending on how you read him. Like, I love Elon, but arrogance is, I would definitely categorize him in, especially the way he's handling this whole Twitter thing, whether that's a leverage thing. But yeah, there's people, I see Donald Trump is in the chat. So yeah.
Where like I've heard some comments now in hindsight about Terra where people have compared it to BitConnect. I'm going to guess you find that to be a bit reductive, but like in hindsight, do you have, regrets about being so invested in that just because of the mechanics, or was this like more of a left turn you didn't see coming? Like, what was your thoughts now with the benefit of hindsight?
Yeah, I think the BitConnect example is probably a bit extreme. I mean, I don't think that Do Kwon and the Terra Labs team and the people building that ecosystem like had as much, or I don't think there was like malicious intent. I think they really wanted to pull something off, but it's building truly decentralized money, and having, a stable coin backed by hyper volatile assets is a daunting task. And I don't know if it's possible. I truly don't know if it's like actually something that can be done. So I don't think there was like malicious intent. A lot of people compare it to a Ponzi scheme, and that's where I definitely think there's more merit. But excuse me, it's trickier because most crypto assets in general are in essence Ponzi's as well, which is not the greatest thing to say, but I think it's true. I mean, the underlying value of any crypto asset is network effect. And network effect is essentially a Ponzi. And Ponzi is just a worse word. So in order for people to believe something has value, like more and more people have to believe that something has value. And even, you can start making the comparison that everything's a Ponzi. But in this case, there definitely were dynamics that were within the ecosystem and how UST was backed that accelerated that, and were not just network effect, but in the more traditional sense, like really reliant on more and more people coming into the ecosystem. Like Bitcoin could like stall out in terms of its growth in the short term, and it's not going to zero. Whereas the Terra ecosystem was extremely dependent on more and more money coming into the ecosystem to prevent like kind of the death spiral that we just saw. So yeah, in hindsight, I mean, it feels really stupid leaving, I lost millions of dollars last week. That feels pretty stupid. But it is what it is. And I definitely learned a lot. And I do think like that part sounds bad, but like I was very aggressive in rebalancing my portfolio, and also like saw some of the smoke, and I feel like I handled things relatively okay. But I know there are other people who had a bunch of money in the ecosystem, didn't get anything out, and I feel horrible for those people.
Did you have any hardships from like a mental health perspective? Like, did it really get you up, or were you able to zoom out quick enough to where that didn't get you down as much?
Yeah, I don't think, I mean, that's the nice thing about being in the gambling world forever. Like, I feel like I handled it pretty well. I mean, in the moment, it was stressful, and just the correlation. I think the big mistake that I made across the board was just having, I mean, I thought I'd done a pretty good job diversifying across a lot of different things, but I definitely had a lot of different types of assets that were hyper correlated to risk on. So that's the one thing that I think I would have done differently if I could go back in time to like November when I felt on top of the world. And yeah, just like having a lot of angel investments, private deals, like obviously those get hit. Later stage tech companies or later stage companies in general aren't going to perform in well in an environment when risk on's trading off. Crypto, NFTs, stocks, like all that stuff is much more correlated. And I knew it was correlated, but more correlated than I kind of than I saw. And I still have like boomer stuff. Like I own gold. I mean, I felt horrible owning cash for parts of last year into this year. Real estate is, I think we'll see some fallouts there potentially. But yeah, it was definitely the most crazy stretch of time that I've ever had. And it was tough for those couple of days just to like try to manage everything. But I didn't have like serious depression or like feel really bad about it. And I think that's from like the gambling, I guess.
Yeah. So where are you at? Like, is this, are you feeling invigorated? Like now's the time to dollar cost average down on, whatever assets that you feel super strong about long run, or are we so spooked right now that we just need to sit on our hands?
Yeah, it's a great question. I thought it was really good on the All In podcast. David Sachs said, like, in theory, it's great to be greedy when others are fearful and fearful when others are greedy. In practice, it's a lot easier to be fearful when others are greedy because you can just start selling some stuff, but it feels bad. Like when things are ripping, it's really hard to sell. But most people on the other side of the coin, when it's actually a great time to start acquiring assets, it's really hard to be greedy when others are fearful because most people are fully deployed with their assets. So most people don't have dry powder. And when things start to get hurt, they're not in position to buy. So that's one area I feel super fortunate. I've been pretty defensive for a stretch of time. Definitely had too much deployed in terms of like correlated risk on assets, but I'm interested in buying things. But I'm trying to figure out what to buy. Yeah, curious your guys' perspective. I mean, I don't know. Like, I feel like there definitely could be some more pain. I sold a CryptoPunk yesterday, and that didn't feel great. But yeah.
Which one? Which
a
punk?
Good one. A good
Top
one.
Hat Smile. Yeah, that felt really bad. Yeah. But that was, that was mostly because I feel that reallocating my crypto portfolio is really important. So obviously with Terra going down, that really shifted my overall portfolio.
Was it this one?
That one, yeah, exactly.
How many are you?
So that's one of my big losers, broadly of the punks. About that for 160, sold it for 95.
Okay. And you couldn't go dump ours because I'm now in possession of it.
I don't want to dump that one. I want floors. I would. So my goal, I'm on actively. Show me your punks. I'm actually looking for a floor punk of some kind at some point here soon. I'd be piling. I definitely wouldn't. I don't think I would have sold this punk specifically if the Yuga Labs deal would have happened, or without the Yuga Labs deal happening. I'm not like 11 out of 10 bullish on punks relative to where I was. I don't know what you guys feel.
Yeah. Right. No, I think, yeah. I mean, it's hard, right? On top of it, the punks thesis changed, and now we're in a bear market. Like it's pretty hard to get excited about punks. Like no one seems that excited about any of the, CCO, the historical projects right now. Like I don't know. There's not a lot to get excited about. Jack, are you still excited about your punks?
I want to have one. I think I want to have one. I mean, now that they've dropped so much, I've thought about like I would still be up. Obviously, I bought it, last February, so it's been 16 months, 15 months. I think I want to have one as long as I'm in the space, but definitely had shares of another one that I was looking at potentially selling prior to this dump. Yeah, the thesis on them is definitely shifted. It feels like I love that no one was in control of them. Like I loved Yuga not being involved with it. And now, with whoever owned it.
Larva Labs.
Larva Labs. Now it just feels like they're like a lot of the story feels gone. It's like, were they truly the first NFT? Do we care about them? Are they cool? But I think they would last. Like if Apes went to zero, that wouldn't, like, I think Punks would be last to go to zero, in my opinion. But that doesn't mean that that's a good thing. Like maybe they're 1 ETH and everything else is zero. So yeah, I'm meh on Punks.
I feel like we're also at a point now with ETH really dipping. I mean, I'm looking right now, the low ask on a CryptoPunk, 51.5 ETH. I mean, I feel like I would rather have 51.5 ETH and sit on that. I feel like you almost need to hit like a 2-leg parlay with the CryptoPunk, where it's like you need ETH to rip again, you need NFTs to rip again, you need people to come back around on CryptoPunk's narrative. That seems like a harder parlay to hit than just being like, I trust that ETH is going to rebound in a big way from here.
Yeah. My view is that I think punks were never the first NFT. I mean, that there's definitive evidence that that's the case, but they were the first successful profile picture. So I love that story. I love the Larva Lab story of giving away 9 of the 10,000. I mean, this is so cliche to say, but I grew to actually love the art and just knowing everything about punks. And I think a lot of people love that. And after what we saw transpire in 2021 and into this year with profile pictures going, PFPs going nuts, punks were the inspiration for all of that. And for me, I always felt really comfortable having a heavy punks bag because it was easy to kind of understand the value. And also punks weren't reliant on delivering on a roadmap or utility or anything else. They just needed to Larva just needed to do nothing. They have a VIG free marketplace, which is another really cool thing. There's all these things kind of working together where it was simple. The story was very easy for people to kind of grasp. And I thought they had a great chance to kind of just sustain as, one of the top high end NFTs, especially for a PFP. And then
they still are, right? They still are. Yeah.
And you could argue, Yuga's the best entity to buy them, but I think they have a really uphill climb to, and they've done an amazing job. Yuga's done the best job. And if you're talking about one entity to buy punks, it's definitely Yuga with the options available at this point in time. But they have a ton to do to deliver with the game and just all their assets. And if you just look at the market cap of the collective assets that they own, I mean, it's insane. So yeah, that was kind of what I was looking at my whole portfolio and just, wow, I have a huge percentage in punks, and I still do have a huge percentage in punks. I own pieces of about 10 other punks and have a piece of the alien and I love my profile picture. So I still have a heavy punks bag, but I thought rebalancing there made sense. And it's just tricky. Having to just really think through a lot of different stuff right now. So
the chat, I mean, everyone's asking the question here. Are you gonna diversify into Moonbirds? It's time to bet on Kevin Rose for this bear.
I got a beer. I wish I had a Moonbird.
Let me see. What is this bird beer? That looks nice.
How much are Moonbirds right now? Let me take a look at
24. I just checked 23 something.
I mean, I just want the record to show. I mean, I'm not going to get too exhausted doing victory laps, but we are about 5 ETH above when everyone told me to sell, and then we entered an uber bear market, and we're still 5 ETH above.
But you should have sold. You would have had so much USD.
What is USD going to do for me, Jack? Buy a house that I'm trying to buy? Yeah, I guess.
I like Mike Rob's comment. Our Underdog best ball draft.
Yes.
The best things to invest in.
Now we're talking.
Yeah, I mean, everyone's talking about this APY. Yes, sure, it's probably a 7 to 8 month lockup, but possible returns 1,000,000%. on your investment. So.
Hey, we got to show Pete our new Underdog stinger here.
Yeah.
Underdog.
Underdog.
Cheers to Underdog. Cheers to you boys.
There you go.
Oh, I love it.
In and out of our pumping the Underdog bags there. Pete, how many Best Ball Mania drafts have you done? I bet it's small.
None yet, but I'm really excited to like dive in here soon. Last week was a little busy, but I'm excited to dive in. I've been doing the PGA ones actually recently.
Yeah, they have these. What is it? The 3-putt Thursday?
And they have something else. It's the 50K tournament.
Yeah, they have a big guy. I did a best ball with Jano last night on Underdog's YouTube.
You guys want to do one?
The problem is they're like a full hour.
Not the Albatross.
Oh, no,
the golf.
Do a golf
one. I'll go to the range.
Let's do a golf one. Fire it up.
Yeah.
Or unless, and then yes, yeah. I mean, I have a lot of thoughts. I don't know how long you guys want to be here, but I have a lot to talk about after everything that's happened.
Ooh, I love this question from Mark. Mark's just jumping way ahead here, talking about week 17 stacks. I'm going to have a video out about this probably next week, looking specifically at the importance of week 17 and the expected value in this tournament. It will answer all of your skeptical questions, Mark.
What are we doing? 3-putt Thursday or the Albatross?
Let's do the Albatross.
All right. Tell me when to join.
So tell me, Pete, I've yet to do a golf one. Give me the lowdown on like the format and kind of just like simple strategy.
Yeah. So you need to advance to the first round, which is the PGA Championship this week, and then you'll be put in another pool for the U.S. Open, and then the Open Championships, the final. So we draft golfers, and you need to survive, and then you use golfers each week for the 3 majors. A lot of fun. So I think it's another really smart, cool format. And yeah, we could draft the team together. I'm happy to help.
So is there in this contest, like, are there any correlation? Because they're like what, or
nope.
Are you
just want to make the only thing to think about is you want to make sure you have guys that are likely to play all 3 majors.
That makes sense.
So there's certain guys that, you know, would be on the fringe, like towards your end of the pick that, you know, you might not want to take this week, or that you might consider taking this week that maybe is not the best to take. That they may not play for one of the majors down the road, but I'm pretty dialed on this. We actually just Adam Rufus and I just did a live draft on this an hour or 2 ago. So this is really fun. It's a really fun format, and I can give more broad macro talk / mistakes that I've made.
What are the mistakes you think that are easiest to fall in here?
For the golf stuff, I mean, maybe just following ADP too closely. But for the financial stuff, like, how are you guys? I'd be curious. Just like, you guys are in different stages of life a little bit, but also have had a lot of success and rode this NFT wave up. What are you guys thinking right now? Like, how are you? Do you guys follow the markets closely? I mean,
Ooh,
you guys are
ahead of winning 101.
Wow, we said we we're going to draft together, and Jack just slides
opposite ends, though. We can help each other here.
Yeah, to answer your P question, yeah, I haven't been. It's starting to get toward the territory where I might like to buy some discounts on stuff, but like I said, we're literally trying to find a new house right now, and the market still hasn't slowed down out here in Boston, so it's hard for me to justify.
What do you think about real estate? Do you have a view on real estate going forward?
Well, I'm keep getting fucking outbid on houses, keep waiting for the interest rates going up to change things. But it doesn't change inventory out here. And there's just been so many people on the sidelines for so long wanting to get in that like the frenzy hasn't set in. But like even we had to readjust our budget in the past week because of interest rates. I mean, meaningfully different budget with the interest rates going up. So my hope is that has like a trickle down effect and things chill out soon, but man, yeah, it is tough right now.
Yeah. So real estate is really interesting. It's the one asset class that has not gotten hit so far this year. And we've seen, markets down 20 to 30% and much higher, depending on what you're looking at. Starting to see it in the VC world. Obviously, we've seen it in crypto. Starting to see it a bit in NFTs. And meanwhile, you have inflation impacting all these other aspects of your life. You're paying more for groceries and services. So when will that kind of correct. And on real estate specifically, rates are super impactful, especially it sounds like, you're looking in Boston, it's impacting your guys' budget. Like where you're looking, rates are very impactful. So
yeah. All right.
Everything I've heard, take your pick, but everything I've heard is like those are gonna lag. Like real estate's gonna lag a few months.
You want Spieth and Cantlay here for sure.
I was just gonna ask, how efficient right now, Pete, would you say the ADP is in here? Oh, okay, yeah, you said Spieth and Cantlay, right?
Yeah. I think it's kind of efficient, not really, especially as you get later on. These first couple of picks, I think Morikawa has a really high pick, but he just went later. Like I'd probably take Morikawa even after Spieth, but he's like kind of in the same tier as Cantlay and Spieth, and he's like got a 3 ADP. But yeah, we'll see. There's some stuff later on that's like wow, that's wild. So we'll hopefully nail those.
Yeah,
Jackson a really good spot. The 1 and 2 spot is, I think the best spot to draft from is 2. I actually would take Rahm ahead of Scheffler, even though I like Scheffler more this week. But I would take Rahm for the rest of the.
What are the best way? I mean, I guess if I were to just try to build my own board, I would probably just be like compiling and aggregating futures odds. I mean, is there a better way to do it?
No, that's a good way to do it. And then also just looking at like the official golf rankings, like if you're top 50, I think it's top 60 for the Open, you're guaranteed in. There's different qualifying rules. So making sure you're drafting players that are likely to be in all 3 majors is really important.
I know you said there's better, there's advantageous ADPs later. How many picks, by the way?
10. So it takes your best 6 for each major, but you got to move on. So
gotcha. Koepka at 14-4, like, isn't that wildly aggressive?
I would never take Koepka right here.
Yeah.
So who's available right now for Jack?
I've got DJ, Matsuyama, Koepka, Burns.
Yeah, so I would take DJ here for sure, and I'd probably take Neiman.
What about
Matsuyama's interesting, but he's had some injury stuff. It's definitely DJ as a lock, and then either Zalatoris or Neiman, in my view. Koepka's way too high.
Yeah, I'm trying to think if I want to, and not Burns.
Burns definitely not in the same tier.
Zalatoris burned me bad. So do I want the redemption or do I just?
You could also take Matsuyama if you think he's going to stay healthy, but he's just hasn't played that much. I think Neiman's the best pick there.
Okay.
Do you have
the money team's got the nuts? Xander Rahm is a really good start.
Yeah, that's amazing. I had Zalatoris in some tournament in late January. I think the guy hit every fairway, greens and regulation, like blew the course apart. He can't even think about putting. He is the worst. It was like bizarre. I know the knock on him.
He's really bad at putting.
It was impressive how bad his putting was.
Yeah, it's hard. I mean, it's hard to putt. It just is, and it's so random.
What's your favorite slot to get in these drafts?
1 or 2 is by far the best. Number the guy at the money 888 start is like super strong.
Wow.
And so is Jack's. I mean, Jack is super strong, but like Xander, like if Xander would have fallen,
I wanted
Xander. Great.
Yeah.
And Lowry, who's 18, normally falls. Like the guy who took Lowry, I would have not taken Lowry there, but Lowry normally falls to you in that 1 or 2 spot. So you get like Xander, DJ, and Lowry, and it feels really good.
I mean, I love our team even more now that Dylan said Cantlay and Spieth is essentially a 0 RB build. I don't know what that means.
No, I think our start is standard, but we just need a couple things to go our way here.
Okay, we'll see what easy money sniper. All right, we're OTC.
Yeah, so that was good for us. So let's take Burns and Finau. Actually, let's do Burns and Louis. Let's do Burns and
So yeah, like Louis
Burns for sure, and then Louis, Finau, and Fitzpatrick are all the same to me. I think Finau is the most upside. Let's take Fitzpatrick. Let's take Fitzpatrick.
What? You just decided the third.
So I like Fitzpatrick the least this week, but I like him the most going forward.
Okay. So how much? I saw Lou mention. Obviously, there are some players that are better fits per the course.
Right.
Is that?
Yes, like I don't love Fitzpatrick this week, and I like I like Fitzpatrick for the Open Championship.
Okay. Yeah.
I think we can still get there.
I haven't watched Club Top Shot in months, and I come in and it's golf talk and best ball drafts. What is happening? This show
The
has
market's
range,
happening.
versatility. Yeah.
I've been. What do you guys think about Top Shots right now? Have you guys made any moves?
No, I have not.
You?
I've sold a couple Top Shots, and I'm looking to potentially make some moves and some higher end stuff down the road.
Ooh.
In which direction?
I would love to buy some series. Like, I'd love to get like some Uber Elite Luca at some point.
Yeah. Los Dos texted me and asked what the market was like. He was looking to shed, I think. I would be a buyer if they had a bid system. Like, I would be not an aggressive buyer, but I would definitely be a buyer if they had a bid system. But right now, it's just impossible.
Who does Jack have available?
I have Horschel, Answer, Hatton, Bryson, Sungjae, Adam Scott. What do you
All
think?
right, so you should definitely. I would take Horschel and Answer here with the ADP.
Okay.
You can debate Hatton, but I like Horschel and Answer. Oh yeah, that's all right. Never mind. There's one guy who's starting to sneak up who I think is a pretty good pick. Hopefully we
Fleetwood
get him.
or Reed?
Nah, I'll save it.
Your show is probably like single-handedly steaming this ADP from earlier.
Yeah, potentially. It's fun though. I love this format.
Was that a paywalled show?
No, it's free. Tomorrow's show's paid wall in ETR if you're looking for the goods, the golf picks. So what do you guys think? I mean, the house is an interesting situation, right, Pete? Like, you haven't seen any slowdown yet, and you're looking. Are you looking in Boston, or you guys are in the burbs, right?
Yeah, suburbs of Boston. Yeah, I would say the amount of offers coming in on houses has chilled a little bit. Like, we were legit like part of offers where there was 20 offers on a house.
Yeah.
But people soaring exponentially over the asking, that has not slowed down whatsoever.
That was very common here in Colorado, which I think was one of the hottest markets. But I've seen a bunch of inventory come on in the last week or two.
I'm hoping.
All right, we're in good shape here. Let's grab Adam Scott and Henley.
What do you do when you own a house? Like, do you normally buy and then sell? Like, what's that look like?
So actually, I've been in an interesting real estate situation. So we're in our current house. In November, we bought a lot to build on, and actually went under contract on another house because we're worried about the building costs. And building costs, they showed a quote on CNBC today that the prices was up 20% year over year. I was hoping Cameron Young fell to us, by the way. I was hoping to get Young and Scott, but it's all right.
Yeah. Easy
money sniper got Young and Bryson, who I think Bryson's an interesting pick, but we already took some guys for later. So
Iceman, I am the king of fucking writing letters. That's how we got our first place. Oh,
really?
I know
What's
how
the
to
play?
pander. Oh, you just play to their sentimentality. You have your realtor kind of find out a little bit more about them, things they're interested in. If they were particularly proud of an improvement they made in the house, you pump them up so much, telling them how much you love it. You pull on the heartstrings. But sometimes heartstrings don't matter when your offer is $150,000 less than the next person.
Yeah, exactly. I think things will slow down here, Pete.
Yeah, we will see. Yeah, Dale saying right now you sell and lease back. I mean, for us, like, that's the one good thing about the market being insane is we will be able, our place is already completely ready to go, like photographed everything. Like, we'll be able to like sell it immediately when we want. So can probably time the closings in an advantageous way.
Yeah.
All right.
Who's Zach have available?
Am I taking Fleetwood?
Yeah.
And then I got Reed.
Who else is available?
Reed, Varner.
Oh, I like Fleetwood and Reed here big time.
Don't we all hate Patrick Reed?
Everyone hates Patrick Reed, but he's got some major equity.
Varner, Woods, Casey.
No. Casey's gonna miss. You don't want him. And someone just took Sung J M, Samuelson or whatever. He's not gonna play this week, so that's a really tough pick. Paul Casey's the other pick you just kind of want to avoid in these. He's withdrawn from like every tournament with back injury. Tiger, I think, is a horrible pick.
Yeah.
You got some good ones. So like you just got a couple of like the last like really strong picks, I think.
Okay.
That's where
And
the one spot is just 1 and 2 is just much better, I think, broadly.
And then this is more of a free for all here after pick 40 or so.
No, there's some guys who I think are lower down that hopefully we can. I feel like this is where I actually have an edge. So hopefully we can take advantage. We'll see what these people pick. But yeah, housing is interesting. I think for people out there, I mean, for your primary, it's less of an investment, so you should do what's best for you and your family. But I do think we could see some reduction in prices given what's transpired everywhere else in the economy.
Yeah. We shall see. Pump needs to know, what do we have to do to get Underdog legal in Iowa? Pete, the mayor needs to go on a tour.
Iowa's a tricky state. I don't know if Iowa's legal to play regular DFS, right? I think Iowa's always been a tough state for fantasy sports.
Yeah, brutal.
It is brutal.
All right, Pete, we got.
Oh, this is Yahtzee. We take Jason Day for sure, and we take Seamus Power.
All right.
That was very, very fortunate how that ran out for us.
These guys, you're too low? They're going
Yeah,
too low?
they're way too low. Both have a lot of upside. I mean, Jason Day's been hurt, but like we had a 36-hole lead a couple tournaments ago. Obviously, is a major winner, former number 1 in the world. Injuries have really been the problem for Jason Day, but you're playing to win, and you know Day has as much major equity, like win equity in these majors, as like the guys in the 20s and 30s. So I like him a lot. And then Seamus has just played awesome, has a ton of upside as a golfer. Was winning a bunch early in the year, and it's just kind of been a little bit higher variance, but high upside. So I think that's pretty strong.
Yeah. Scotty, who earlier said he hadn't tuned in for a while, he wants to know how the fam's doing here.
Great. Gracie's so fun. You thinking about kids over there, Pete?
I think we're thinking about it. Yes, we are.
Are you in the practice phase?
You need a house.
I've already shared enough tonight about my housing.
Are you taking in as many practice swings as Jennings does golfing in a year? Because that would be a fun phase.
Let's just say we're not looking for a new house just so I can have a bigger office.
Casey, Kim, English, Rose, Woodland.
You should take Kim for sure here. Who else is available?
Paul,
scroll
Casey,
up.
English, Rose.
Scroll up. That's
Woodland.
This is at the top.
Peters is a pretty strong pick here for win equity. Woodland's another one. Woodland or Peters is who I'd take, or McNeely.
Basically anyone you want.
No, you don't like
Paul
Justin
Casey would be the
Rose?
worst pick here. Yeah.
What's the issue with Paul Casey?
He's not going to play, I don't think. He's withdrawn from every tournament recently.
Can I ask you a question? Why does Harris English get the large spelled out
He's
United
really
States?
American.
And everyone else just gets
that's pretty funny, right? Yeah, we got to nail this next goal. Scroll down just a smidge. I want to make sure who else is left. Yeah, Straka. I like Wise. Yeah, okay.
Wow, our underdog player pool, we go deep here.
Yeah, I mean, these guys are never getting taken.
I bet I'm going to find Peter Jennings the further I scroll down here.
Oh, my gosh. How embarrassing would that be? I played golf since we've been on here, and with all the DraftKings founders and Larry Fitzgerald. That was a lot of fun. Larry couldn't have been cooler.
How'd you shoot?
I actually played awesome that day. I definitely shot the low round of the group.
There you go.
Is Fitz any good at golf?
We have like the same handicap, so it was fun to play well with him. We should take Hoagie, and we should take you can choose Harmon, Straka, or Wise.
Harmon, Straka, or Wise.
Oh, actually no, Rose is still left. Let's take Rose and Hoagie.
Okay.
Sorry. I didn't realize Rose was left.
Yeah. All right, Rose and Hoagie it is.
We had a good finish. It's just tough in the 6 spot's tough because like you just get like the drop off is high, especially coming back. Like Spieth Cantlay is decent, but it's like clearly worse than like Scheffler DJ or Rom Zander. it's probably similar to the other spots. Like the 1-2 just have such an advantage, but then you really get a drop off on like that third, fourth pick, which is huge. Like, so it's fun though. Not as fun as like the playoffs. Do you guys have any playoff best ball teams left?
I saw you actually won one of the groups I was in to go to the conference. My only good team was a Warriors team, but I only had Draymond at the wing spot, and it was weird. Like Harden obviously didn't put up any numbers. Embiid was a dud in the second round.
Yeah, it's hard to kind of get the right mix because like the Heat guys didn't advance very far after round one for most people. I have one team with Butler, but
yeah, like I remember I was telling you guys like I was drafting Luka and everything. But a lot of Luka teams didn't make it through because he missed like the
first 2 games or whatever.
Yeah, the first couple games.
Yeah.
All right, Jack, Mr. Irrelevant. Who's it going to be?
I was going to take Straka there.
Is Wise still left?
Yeah, he's still there. More than Tringale?
Sure. Oh, for sure. Wise over Tringale. It's not even close.
All right.
Wise can win.
There it is. The Albatross. How much is up top here?
Nice little 10K, I think.
Nice little 10K. All right.
We'll take it.
Now I'm in the habit of naming all my teams. CTS.
What would you guys like to see Underdog do? What should Underdog do better?
Softer lines, make it easier for me to win my pick'ems.
I'd like more accurate titles for the influencers. I mean, some of them are titled Head of Winning and on one of the most vicious cold streaks you'll ever see.
What would I like to see them do more? The formats are fun. I think insurance could be fun, so that I had a bunch of 4 for 5s recently. That'll be good.
Insurance. What would that look like?
It'll be. I don't like some of the other sites' payouts, so hopefully Underdog will do like a more aggressive insurance. But yeah. Just not hitting 5 for 5 is tough. It's very tough.
Really?
Yeah, it's not the easiest thing. I've hit a couple. Now it's funny. Like I only do pick 2s for the most part, and all through football season, and I've done a couple 5s. Now I do one for $25 every day. We call it the Five Guys Burgers and Fries, and
that's basically what a Five Guys burger and fries cost now, huh?
Exactly.
When I DoorDash it, $28.
Yeah, exactly.
Burgers and fries.
So I think we've hit one. I was telling Pete like some fan picked one, so we hit one. But prior to that, the reason I started doing one was because I just threw $500 on one once and I hit it, so I won I got back to even, and like it amazes me how difficult those things are to hit a 5 for 5.
I'm hopeful this year, especially with the 1 million to the regular season first prize. And I know this is something a lot of people have talked about, like a really fun leaderboard experience for people to kind of sweat and search for teams and rosters on that leaderboard. And then obviously when we hit the playoffs too, having like a really good playoff leaderboard as well, where people can track the high scores and the best teams. I think that will go a long way for people for sweating this contest.
The one thing I'm confident in that I very strongly disagree with them on is a live event final. Like, I know you would have to tell those people to get down, as soon as possible, and it's near New Year's or it's near the holidays. But like Pete, last year, your sweat was amazing. And I think it just like you could do so many fun things with it. Obviously, you're not picking who's going to be on your team that week, but just sweating out with a bunch of people who love Underdog who are competing for millions of dollars, I think is super fun.
Well, and it definitely is hard logistically this year. Obviously, week 17 finals, 470 entries.
Right.
But even, if you were able, like if you have 470 entries, like how many people on short notice, to come to a party on what would be January 2nd, you could probably get a good amount of people to come down for a live final experience.
Obviously, people have families and significant other, but like if you're telling me they said, all right, we're doing a whole thing in Miami the weekend of New Year's Eve, I think you could, people competing for millions of dollars. Like, I think you could convince people to come down.
All right, new plan. Regular season winner is no longer getting $1 million. That is going to a party in Miami, New Year's Eve.
And the other thing that I'm just absolutely relentless on is that we're gonna have an influencer suite at the Super Bowl. I just won't stop until.
Sounds a little self-serving, Jack.
No.
Man of the people wants an influencer.
An influencer suite gets to bring their biggest fans, so you still involve, people with snapback headbands and big time underdog customers. Yeah. But like, come on, it's the Super Bowl. Like, flexible.
Yeah.
The house was cool last year, right?
House was really cool.
Except Jack drew lots and got the master bedroom, which was like 19 times as big as mine, and it was just a really rough scene all around.
Ooh, yeah, that's a tough one.
Yeah.
I've already confirmed I will not get the master this year. I think it's going to Brandon or Jeremy potentially.
Do not give it to Jeremy.
Yeah, I disagree. I disagree with the mentality of the company, but I'm understanding.
Did you see Marlon Humphrey's tweet? It reminded me because he was at that party we went to.
Yeah.
Did you see this tweet?
He's incredible on social. Like, I think he's one of the funniest.
I've chatted with him a decent bit. He's a funny dude. The tweet seems like it could get him in some trouble, but
so he doesn't, from my understanding, he doesn't have a girlfriend. So I think he's clear.
Just going for the engagement move.
I think he's clear on the tweet, but yeah, that was that if he did have a girlfriend, oof, that is an ugly one. Some of the replies were just amazing.
Okay, which one is worse, this one, or did you guys see what Doug Polk just tweeted?
Doug Polk. I'm not even pulling that.
What did Doug Polk tweet? You don't even follow Marlon.
I don't think so. Okay, Pete, I get it's politically correct not to bring it up, but like,
no, we could bring it up, but I'm saying it was an awful tweet.
Yeah, I don't think it was.
Is it still up?
I don't think he would have deleted it knowing Doug.
What's the downside of, I don't know. Never mind. I don't know.
Don't get yourself in trouble on this one.
Okay.
The issue with the tweet is Doug Polk editorializing what he thinks is like beautiful and how he determines obesity and stuff like that. Like, that's just not his place to do that.
Yeah.
But I think he got sufficiently dragged for that one.
Yeah.
It's just like there's no one, you just don't need to comment on that.
It's just a lose-lose, right?
Yeah. Unless you're just basking in that sweet engagement.
The engagement is what was.
I did love this back-to-back comments here. Hang on, where was this? How did I miss this? Oh, Dale says this is in reference to Underdog having a party for the finalists. He says a lot of max entering guys with families, and then the answer says families and wife's boyfriends. Yes, it's hard to keep a relationship going when you're just blasting off on best ball drafts every waking minute.
But if you win $2 million and the girlfriend or wife is there, like, is she trying to get engaged on the spot? If it's just the girlfriend, is she tearing up the prenup potentially? I don't know.
Yeah, it is. It's gonna be wild this year. 2 million, 3 million given out to those top two slots. 2 million.
How many are you up to? Overzet? How many?
I'm on a slow rollout. I think I'm at 15 or 16.
I'm at a slow rollout. I'm 10% through.
Well, the sickos in the Discord, they're up to 30, 35. Some I'm sure at 40, because everyone likes this concept, and I get it, of the barbell approach. Yeah. So everyone's barbelling harder than me right now. Like, I wanted to sneak in a draft today so bad, and I had to go mow my fucking lawn. I could have done a best ball mania team, or I could have gone and mowed my lawn. Pete's laughing because he's never even gotten a single speck of grass under his fingernails.
That's not true. I used to mow lawns all the time when I was younger.
You don't have like an electric mower? You can't draft while you're doing it?
I guess I could have, but I don't have all my week 17 stacks memorized yet. So, that's a little hard to draft on the fly.
Very true. Are you drafting any team's sole intent for just first place regular season?
Yeah. And that the question then is to, like, what extreme do you do that? But, right. And that's what I'm going to be looking at in the video. But it's like, you have to be optimizing for week 17. Like, right. There's no point of even playing the tournament. the EV of round 1, it came to a little over $20. It's a $25 entry. Like, just to give you a crazy stat, you could have the second best team in the entire regular season, weeks 1 through 14. Literally the second best team. And if your week 15 team shits the bed, you walk away with $35, $15 profit. So, I mean, all of the money is going to the top 5 or 6 teams in week 17. So you just absolutely have to be optimizing for that.
What I know, it's $1 million to the top place. What are like the top regular season finish? Is it only the top? Like, if you finish second in points for the whole regular season out of 100, you get nothing.
Yeah, that's why I wish Underdog would have spread it out, like taken that $1 million and spread it out over like the top 100.
You sound like such a we sound like the worst DFS players, right? Like the guys who just complain about evening out the payout.
Are you kidding? The best DFS players complain about.
Of course, no. I'm saying we sound like winning, bitching DFS players right now.
No, I just didn't know, but that is pretty crazy. Like, you lose regular season points by 0.1 and you lose out $1 million. Like, I don't think there's any scenario where that's the case, right? Like, if you lose 0.1 in any championship, at least you're walking away with something. But hey, it's nice someone will win it. I won't win that one. I'll probably win the playoff, like through the playoffs, but I won't win.
What? You might have some good teams this year, Jack, because I'm
getting better,
these
right?
Baltimore Ravens, and you might just homer your way onto some nice teams.
Yeah, I'm getting better. My first.
Can you get some really good Raven stacks this year? I bet you can.
Lamar's a little more pricier this year than he was last year. J.K. Dobbins is cheap. I think Bateman is fairly priced. He's like high early priced. Second. Like
Gus is really underpriced.
Can you get the Dobbins Andrews Lamar combo pretty easily?
Yeah.
They all fall. It's actually tough to like pull it together because you have to take Andrews early second and Lamar.
You'd have to take Lamar in the late third to do it.
But he's like an early fourth, right? Like
Where's
So,
Dobbins falling, like 5th, 6th round, or is he farther than next of the depth there?
He's RB 20 or something.
It's funny. Mark is making a joke here. Well, in that case, just draft the Seahawks 5th string RB and the LA RBs that are constantly injured. That is literally what Eric Beimfor and I did. Our running backs in the Week 17 finals that finished in 8th place was Rashad Penny, the backup Seahawks running back, and Sony Michel, the backups Rams running back. You're coming around on understanding how to optimize for Week 17. Let's see here. Were there any other? What were we talking about? Oh, the Ravens stacks. Yeah. Where are you, Jack? I think I asked you this already. Because after Bateman and Andrews, like everyone's all over the place. There's Duvernay heads. There's Tylan Wallace heads. There's James Proche heads. They signed Will Fuller heads. What are you doing there late?
So I'm not drafting Bateman right now because it's guaranteed we'll sign someone. Like, I don't know how good the player is, but this is the worst Bateman's. No news can come out. I mean, I'm sure there is some hilarious fantasy news that people run by. Like, Bateman is looking like, the Bryan Edwards TO comps could come out. But overall, like, it's guaranteed the Ravens at least sign someone, which should drop his ADP. If I were to be picking a Ravens wideout, the second choice, Duvernay, I think, is going in 17th or 18th round, depending on the drafts. Proche is the guy. Like, Duvernay has always
These are both
been
just fades. We're just fading those picks, right? Those have to be terrible.
No, one of those guys that we mentioned is going to end up being a value. I mean, they're going to have a third.
Are you sure?
So, all right. So I'll give you
just going to run the crap out of the ball this year?
Yeah, we will. But we will have to throw at some point. So Bateman, I actually think Bateman could have a good year.
I agree with that.
Obviously be strong. I think they'll sign someone. But Duvernay, they use him he's a returner. They use him on jet sweeps. His ADOT is, I know he's not throwing, but it's very, very small. Proche had games where he had like 10, 12 targets last year. They were rare, but he's actually the guy. I love Tylan. He was a Big 12 guy. He dominated Texas every game, so I love him. But I think he's a little small to play at this level. So if I were to put my eggs in a specific basket, I go Prochet over the others.
Do you know who else is a super deep sleeper on the Ravens, Jack? Tyler Beatty, their rookie running back he's pretty sick.
So I'm not afraid of Mike Davis at all. I think he's a camp cut.
Mike Davis is a camp cut.
I'm rolling with Gus, but yeah, they like Beatty a lot, and both of them coming off injury, so I don't hate that.
The reason, I think Gus is more like Gus and Dobbins have how they use them. They don't throw to them a ton. Beatty profiles as a pretty good above average pass catcher. So he could sneakily carve out.
But we never ever throw to our backs since Ray Rice. We never. That's why they use Duvernay a lot, and that's why they kept Justice Hill around. But it just never works.
Rest in peace. I used to love Justice Hill.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
He's just too small. He'll get picked up by someone this year. You'll draft him. For
did he just was he on the Ravens even last year?
He was hurt. He was hurt all year, so he's hurt right now.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, Mike Robb, go. Yeah, he had 20 targets last year. Prorated. I guarantee you, I'm guaranteeing it. So I'll say 8 in one game, but I believe he had a 10 target game. I'm going to the game.
Pete, what's the boots on the ground take with this Jerry Jeudy situation?
8 targets.
Pete has actual information. I could just tell.
I play poker with his lawyer all the time, so I mean, so does Levitan too. Harvey Steinberg. Harvey I know really well. He represents every Denver athlete who gets in trouble. So,
of course you play.
I mean, here I'll read Harvey Steinberg, Jerry Jeudy quotes. Let me just before I say anything and.
Everyone, hold off here for
ask Levitan. He's gotten to play with this poker with this guy a bunch now. It's amazing. This guy is all time. He's a super famous lawyer. Harvey's just let's see here. Give me a second. Pan away.
Okay, we'll give
you guys continue the conversation and I'll get it. Actually, here I have the tweet. You can play this. This is my guy. So Levitan and I have played a bunch of poker with this guy. He's all time. I actually got his kid. His kid manages the Milk Boys now. I got him a job to be Bob Menery's manager initially. But yeah, I know Harvey super well. So you can pull it up.
Right.
Pull it up.
I'm pulling it up. Here we go. Here.
Things happen to good people, and that's what this case is. I don't think he should have been arrested. I don't think he should have been incarcerated. And I think people are going to look at this and come to the same conclusion that I did and say, boy, this is a bump in the road. This is a really, really good guy. And we're sorry this had to happen to him. All right. God, things happen to good people.
That looks like a guy Levitan loves to 3-bet.
He does love to 3-bet Harvey. You know what Harvey calls Levitan? A knit bro. The knit bro. It's the best. I've got him about Harvey. Harvey is all time.
What kind of stakes are Levitan and Harvey playing?
The game's normally last time we played was 100 blinds with a $200 ante. Big game.
No limit?
Pot limit Omaha.
Oh, that's a wild fucking game.
You're correct.
Oh my goodness. Oh man. And how are Harvey's poker skills?
Harvey's an animal. So Harvey is an animal. He's definitely not. I mean, yeah, he's an incredible attorney. Everyone uses him. He had a superpower back in the day. Clearly, a photographic memory. I don't know if he can still do this, but in his prime, you could give him a book. He could look at a page, read it, take a minute, and then he could recite the page forwards or backwards. The whole thing.
No fucking way.
That's serious. Like crazy photographic memory.
Goodness.
He's the best attorney in the state.
All right. So what if I'm reading between the lines, you're saying Jerry Jeudy is not going to miss any games this year?
I would definitely draft Jerry Jeudy at this point.
All right. There's your alpha, folks. There is your alpha. I think he's going back to court here in a
Mike
few weeks.
Levy tweeting.
I saw that too.
What is this about?
Was there a lot of Terra talk in the last week? I didn't get to catch it.
Yeah, I'd say we talked a decent amount. I think maybe we talked a little more Azuki's.
What's the Zuki scores right now?
14.
You've been keeping close.
No, I was going through it on stream. Cool Cats are under 4. Pretty crazy.
Oof. Yeah, it's
So if you guys had to hold
real quick. Artifact, PXN, and Moonbird servers are all hacked right now. Be safe and don't click anything.
Oh, at Discord servers?
I don't know if it just says servers. I would assume Discord.
Yeah. Yes. What were you gonna ask, Pete? Because I know the answer. The answer is
if you had to hold 3 NFTs for the whole rest of the year, what would they be?
I mean, I get to just pick.
You get to hold 3 NFTs, and you have to hold them the whole year.
Yeah, I mean, a Moonbird, a Bored Ape, and let's see. I don't know what the third would be.
Well, you're holding one right now. I hope you have an answer.
I'm a Cryptopunk? I don't know if that's the
clearly not the answer.
Perhaps. Yeah. What is your answer, Jack? Night
Steeds, yeah. Night Steeds and a Night Steed combo. No, I would hold for the rest of the year. I just like Clone X's and I wish I had one. So I'll go that. I'll go Cryptofuckers because the World Cup is at the end of the year.
That was so funny that he found that clip. I know him. Like that was part of why I think it's one of Jeremy's friends actually. Yeah.
But what was fucked up is Jeremy sent me a screenshot of their group chat, and the guy who sold it to me was like texting him like I sold that to him. Cryptofuckers and
That's NFA people.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, any Doris Burke narrated moment.
Yeah, what do we? Oh, that actually reminds me. Pump had sent me this. I know Andy was weighing in on this on Twitter, but did you guys see this stuff? ApeCoin migration draws interest from Avalanche and Flow, although already someone from Bored Ape Club came out and said that this wasn't true, although it has like a very similar vibe to when their pitch deck floated and they're like, well, now we got to do something different and unexpected when like something like this leaks. Did you see this, Pete?
I did. It's tough. I mean, I love Ethereum, and I think that's probably the best chain for a lot of these things. But the fees are just insane. It's just not sustainable to get the masses into crypto. And I think NFTs are certainly the best use case that we've seen so far in crypto to get the masses interested. So I get that this is a different type of project, but yeah, I mean, it seems clear that they're definitely trying to move.
This was the conversation. Andy had a tweet. He quote tweeted the article. It was laughing. And then Garga here said, literally, we, in parentheses, you guys have not talked to any of these people, upside down smile emoji. So hard to know where the leak is coming from there.
Yeah. Be safe out there. I'm getting a lot of messages. I want to put the Terra thing to bed here for just anyone. I've talked a lot about it publicly and will continue to do so, but feel bad for anyone that got hurt. ISF definitely was involved in the ecosystem from an early stage. Thought it was a great place to park stables given the APR. I knew that, everyone's like, oh, it's way too good to be true. That wasn't, in my view, what brought down the ecosystem. Doe always actually talked about that as marketing, which I think was really smart to gain network effect. We saw DraftKings, other companies kind of in our space lose money to gain market share. I think the transparency and arrogance is what brought them down. So truly feel bad for anyone who lost money there. So I was one of those people too. You can see the receipts. It was painful.
Have you been getting heat, Pete? Like people.
I've gotten zero heat so far, and I don't know. I mean, I probably deserve. So I don't think I was like openly like like blatantly shilling it at all, but I definitely, anytime people brought up Luna, I would say I was involved and thought it was a good place to have an allocation of capital.
So
Not financial advice, but
it's Terra Luna, right?
What's up?
It was Terra Luna.
Yeah, so the Terra ecosystem had a bunch of different applications involved in it. Gotcha. Luna was the coin, and then UST was really the big thing. That was their stable coin that gained huge adoption, like $20+ billion of market cap before the fall.
Wow. Yeah. Anything we didn't get to tonight? We're missing, our energy levels are down. We're all down bad. At least Pete has a haircut. At least Jack got to drink for his New York Knickerbockers stream.
At least you're trying to get a house and trying to get more people in the family. So that sounds fun.
Yeah. I mean, I'm telling you, I don't wish anyone looking for a house in this market right now. I'm so sick of spending my weekends going to open houses. It's brutal.
Is it like a full-time job right now?
I mean, not quite full-time. I mean, you look at the inventory and we're pretty picky now, so we don't waste our time on stuff we have no chance, but it's just like demoralizing. You'll get we've had multiple places where we were going to get in for a private showing earlier in the week, and then they call you and they're like, they just accepted an offer. Like they didn't even get to the private showing before the 3 open houses because someone just threw a bag of cash at them. So it's like, there's just it's just a clown economy out here.
And no one's taking moonbirds?
No one is I have yet to, I need to ask.
But you wouldn't sell your moonbird for.
I wouldn't sell my nest for a nest.
Yeah. Like Kevin Rose would not advise. Like if you trust Kevin Rose, you don't need a house. You sleep on the street.
No, the kind of I think it's the Maslow's hierarchy of needs is a moonbird, and then it's a roof over your head is kind of how it works. Yeah.
Right. Okay. And then Tyler Batty in the 18th round.
Exactly. All right. Here's a good question, Pete. We need to keep holding. We talked about this last week. We are set to do a live show at the Underdog offices Tuesday, June 21st. We're going to have VIPs in studio. We're going to be able to have some drinks up on the rooftop after. Peter Jennings, a man who I have known to never miss a fun opportunity with his friends, despite being a family man. Will you be there?
I'll be in California. Sorry.
What?
I'm the godfather of kids getting baptized. I'm John Stone dead. First family trip with the baby. First time Gracie will be out of the state of Colorado. I'm toast.
I thought you were the godfather of Club Top Shot, but apparently
I thought he was the godfather of Underdog. Take him out.
Yeah, Club Top Shot. I mean, I love Club Top Shot, but Underdog. Now we're talking.
Well,
there we go. Now I'm back in. Now that we have the Underdog logo back, I'm way back in. I would love to be there. Maybe how epic would it be if I streamed from California?
Well, we're already working through some tech logistics here. I mean, we can't have a redux of our Miami show where Jack and I were screaming at a computer trying to hear you guys, and it was brutal.
Yeah. So it is fun. I've had so much fun doing this. I think we're gonna have a lot of ups and downs with just this industry. I'm excited. I mean, I think I told you guys I got to go to a suite with Top Shot. It was awesome. I don't know. Did we talk about this?
Yeah, you're the only one that gets to. I mean, Jack gets to go to Dua Lipa concerts.
Oh yeah. Well, it's fun. It's funny you say that. What did you go through? An investment through VIP through
VIP through Club Top Shot VIP or through Top Shot VIP, not Club Top Shot, but Top Shot VIP and.
So they just emailed us that there's a new VIP structure, which I thought was pretty funny. I don't know if you got that email too. So I don't know if I'm going to qualify or not, because it's your net spend has to be up, or you have to spend a certain amount this year, or select few. So might be out. No more Dua Lipa.
Wow, no more Dua Lipa.
I'm optimistic though. I think that we're gonna have a lot of fun, but broadly, it is really exciting, that we're tied to Underdog and you guys are involved, and that's something I definitely want to continue to bring to Club Top Shot is the Underdog love.
We'll be good. I would say our show is we're resilient. We can talk sports, we can talk drafts, we can bide our time through a lull in the NFT and crypto markets for sure. All right, guys. Not to end on such a downer note, we'll get Andy and Mike back in the saddle next week, and appreciate you guys hanging out with us as always. If you want to hop on Underdog Fantasy. They'll match up to $100 deposit match. You can get in the Albatross, Fire BBM, 3 teams with us, all of that good stuff. So for Peter Jennings, for Jack Settleman, I'm Pete. We'll see you guys next time on Club Top Shot.